Have you ever wondered if the smallest habits can create the biggest changes in your life? What if something as simple as a few minutes a day could not only improve your health but also transform your confidence, your relationships, and even the way you carry yourself? The golden afternoon sun cast a warm glow over the veranda, filling the air with the soft fragrance of blooming jasmine. Sitting in her favorite wicker chair, Dona Elvira savored her chamomile tea, the warmth in her hands mirroring the wisdom she carried in her heart. Across from her, her granddaughter Anna hesitated, her fingers fidgeting with the hem of her dress. She had a question, one she had never dared to ask anyone else. "Grandma," she whispered, her voice barely above the rustling leaves, "can I ask you something personal?" What followed was a conversation that changed Anna's perspective forever, one that opened her eyes to a secret that women for generations had either ignored or whispered about in hushed voices. A simple practice, hidden in plain sight, yet holding the key to health, confidence, and deeper connection. But here's the real question. If you could unlock better health, greater control, and even a renewed sense of intimacy with just a few minutes a day, wouldn't you want to know how? This video is more than just a discussion about exercises. It's about empowerment, about reclaiming strength, and about the wisdom passed down from generations of women who understood that true confidence starts from within. So stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover isn't just a tip. It's a lifelong secret to health, self-assurance, and unshakable confidence. And trust me, once you know this, you'll never look at yourself the same way again. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I encourage you to click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on today's topic. If you enjoy the content, please comment 1 below. If it doesn't resonate with you, leave a 0. Your feedback is crucial as it helps me create better videos that align with your interests. Now, let's get started. The golden afternoon sun cast a warm glow over the veranda, bathing everything in hues of amber and soft gold. The scent of blooming jasmine drifted through the air, mingling with the rich aroma of freshly brewed chamomile tea. Dona Elvira sat in her favorite wicker chair, cradling the delicate porcelain cup in her hands, savoring both the warmth and the quiet serenity of the moment. Just then, she heard the soft, hesitant footsteps of her granddaughter, Anna, approaching. Newly married and glowing with the radiance of young love, Anna had been carrying a question in her heart, one that she felt only her grandmother could answer. There was something about Dona Elvira, perhaps the wisdom in her eyes, the kindness in her voice, or the way she carried herself with effortless grace, that made it easy to confide in her. Anna hesitated for a moment, her fingers playing with the hem of her summer dress. Then, summoning her courage, she spoke softly, her cheeks tinged with a delicate blush. "Grandma, can I ask you something personal?" Dona Elvira, ever perceptive, set down her teacup and turned to her granddaughter with a warm, knowing smile. "Of course, my dear. You can ask me anything." Taking a deep breath, Anna leaned in slightly, lowering her voice as though sharing a precious secret. "I've heard about these exercises. Kegel exercises. They're supposed to help with, certain muscles, the ones that are important in intimacy. I don't know much about them, but I figured if anyone would, it would be you." For a brief moment, silence hung between them, broken only by the gentle rustling of leaves in the afternoon breeze. Then, Dona Elvira chuckled softly, her eyes twinkling with a mixture of nostalgia and affection. "Oh, Anna," she said, patting her granddaughter's hand. "You remind me so much of myself when I was your age. Kegel exercises, yes. They are not only beneficial, but they are a gift, a secret key to both health and passion, something that too many women overlook." Anna's curiosity deepened, her embarrassment melting away under the comfort of her grandmother's words. She listened intently as Dona Elvira continued, her voice a melody of wisdom and warmth. "When I was young, dear, women didn't speak about these things openly. There were whispers, quiet exchanges between trusted friends, but no one dared to say it aloud. But I always believed that taking care of our bodies is as important as taking care of our souls. The pelvic floor is like the foundation of a house. Strong muscles there mean stability, control, and confidence. She took another sip of tea, allowing the words to settle before continuing. You see, Anna, intimacy is not just about being physically close to your husband. It is about trust, about connection. It is a language without words, a dance of unspoken understanding. When you strengthen those muscles, you gain control, not just physically but emotionally too. It gives you confidence, and confidence, my dear, is the most alluring thing a woman can carry. Anna's lips parted slightly in awe, a new appreciation dawning upon her. She had never thought of it that way before. Dona Elvira's gaze softened as memories flickered in her eyes, carrying her back to a time when she and her late husband, Ernesto, shared their deepest secrets in the quiet of the night. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. I remember, she murmured, a wistful smile gracing her lips, when your grandfather was alive, we talked about everything, including our intimacy. It was never something to be ashamed of, never a forbidden subject. He always told me that trust and communication were the heartbeats of our marriage. And do you know what, Anna? Kegel exercises were a part of that. It was my way of showing him that I cared, that I valued what we had, that I cherished our bond. Anna felt her heart swell with admiration. She had always known that her grandparents shared a love that was rare and profound, but hearing these words made her realize just how deep their connection had been. And besides, my dear, Dona Elvira added with a playful glint in her eye, they're not just for romance. They help prevent troubles like incontinence. And if one day you decide to have children, they can make childbirth and recovery much easier. A strong body is a gift, Anna. A gift to yourself, to your health, and yes, to your marriage too. Anna smiled, feeling an unexpected sense of gratitude wash over her. How lucky she was to have a grandmother who spoke with such openness, such honesty, such love. Thank you, Grandma, she said sincerely, reaching for Dona Elvira's hand and giving it a gentle squeeze. It means so much to hear this from you. I always thought of these exercises as just something for health, but now I see, they are so much more than that. Dona Elvira squeezed her granddaughter's hand in return, her grip both tender and reassuring. Always remember, Anna, she said softly, intimacy is a gift. It is the poetry of marriage, the thread that weaves two hearts together. Nurture it, cherish it, and never be afraid to talk about it. Speak to your husband, explore, and above all, take care of your body. That, my dear, is one of the secrets to a full and happy life. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, painting the horizon with hues of crimson and violet, Anna sat with her grandmother, feeling a newfound sense of understanding. This conversation, this moment, would stay with her forever. A whispered piece of wisdom passed down from one generation to the next, a delicate secret of love, strength, and the quiet power of a woman who knows her worth. Anna had learned a lesson that day, one she would carry with her for the rest of her life. It was more than just a conversation about exercises. It was a revelation about the essence of love, intimacy, and the quiet wisdom that comes with years of experience. Her grandmother's words had ignited something within her, a newfound appreciation for the delicate balance between emotional and physical connection. As the months passed, Anna found herself thinking often about that golden afternoon on the veranda, the scent of jasmine in the air, the gentle warmth in Dona Elvira's voice. Inspired by her grandmother's wisdom, she decided to put the advice into practice. She started doing Kegel exercises regularly, not just as a physical routine but as a quiet act of self-care, a way of honoring both her own well-being and the sacred bond she shared with her husband, Carlos. At first, it felt like a simple commitment to herself, like drinking more water or stretching in the morning. But as the weeks turned into months, Anna began noticing subtle yet powerful changes. She felt stronger, more in tune with her body, and oddly enough, more confident in ways she hadn't anticipated. She carried herself differently, with a quiet assurance that didn't go unnoticed. One evening, as she and Carlos lay in bed, wrapped in the kind of peaceful silence that only exists between two people who love each other deeply, he turned to her with a thoughtful expression. His fingers traced gentle patterns along her arm, and his voice was soft yet curious. "I've noticed something about you lately," he murmured. "You seem different. More confident, more sure of yourself. It's beautiful. Has something changed?" Anna hesitated for a moment, feeling a slight warmth rise to her cheeks. She hadn't expected him to notice so soon. But then again, Carlos had always been attuned to her in ways that made her heart swell with gratitude. With a small, knowing smile, she turned to face him, resting her head against his shoulder. "Well," she admitted, "I had a conversation with Grandma a while ago, and she told me about something called Kegel exercises. I started doing them, at first just for my health, but I didn't realize how much of a difference they would make." Carlos listened intently, his eyes reflecting both curiosity and admiration. "Tell me more," he encouraged, his tone filled with genuine interest. So Anna did. She told him about that afternoon on the veranda, about how Dona Elvira had spoken about intimacy with such grace and wisdom, about how it was more than just a physical act. It was a language, a connection, a sacred exchange between two souls. She told him how her grandmother had emphasized the importance of nurturing that connection, not just in moments of passion but in everyday life, in conversations, in trust, in the small gestures that spoke louder than words. Carlos took her hand in his and squeezed it gently. "I love that you shared this with me," he said, his voice full of warmth. "And I love that it's made you feel more connected to yourself. It's amazing how something so simple can have such a deep impact." That night, and in the nights that followed, something shifted between them. Their conversations deepened. They spoke more openly about their desires, their fears, their needs, things they had always shared, but now with an even greater sense of vulnerability and trust. The bond between them grew richer, their intimacy more profound. It was as if they had discovered a secret door within their marriage, one that had been waiting to be opened all along. Kegel exercises became more than just a daily routine for Anna. They became a quiet ritual of self-love, a way of honoring not just her body but the love she shared with Carlos. And with every passing day, she felt more grateful for her grandmother's wisdom. One sunny afternoon, Anna found herself back in Dona Elvira's cozy kitchen, the scent of fresh-baked bread and coffee filling the air. As she stirred her cup, she glanced at her grandmother, who was watching her with that familiar, knowing smile, the kind that only comes from someone who has lived long enough to understand the true depth of life's lessons. "Grandma," Anna began softly, setting her cup down. "I wanted to tell you, I took your advice. I started doing the exercises you told me about, and I can't even begin to tell you how much of a difference they've made." Dona Elvira's eyes sparkled with quiet satisfaction. "I had a feeling you would," she said with a gentle nod. "Tell me, dear, what have you noticed?" Anna took a deep breath, trying to put into words what she felt in her heart. "I feel stronger, not just physically, but emotionally too. I feel more connected to my own body, more aware of the little things. And Carlos," he noticed. "He told me I seem more confident. We've been talking more, sharing more. It's like we've rediscovered something we didn't even realize we were missing." Dona Elvira reached across the table and took Anna's hand in hers, squeezing it gently. "That's the beauty of it, my dear. Intimacy isn't just about the moments spent together. It's about the trust, the understanding, the willingness to keep learning and growing with your partner. Love, true love, is a journey. And on that journey, you will always find new ways to nurture it, to strengthen it, to keep the flame alive." Anna sat in silence for a moment, letting her grandmother's words settle deep within her heart. She had always admired the love between Dona Elvira and her late grandfather, but now she understood it in a way she never had before. It wasn't just about passion, it was about care, about effort, about choosing each other every single day. "Thank you, Grandma," Anna said, her voice thick with emotion. "For everything. For teaching me, for sharing your wisdom. I don't think I realized just how much I needed to hear those things until now." If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, Please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Dona Elvira simply smiled, her eyes filled with the kind of love that only a grandmother can give. Intimacy is a journey, my dear, and it is always worth the effort. That afternoon, Anna and Dona Elvira sat together for hours, talking, laughing, sharing memories and secrets. And as Anna left her grandmother's home that day, she carried with her more than just advice. She carried the understanding that love, in all its forms, is something to be nurtured, treasured, and never taken for granted. As time went on, Anna found herself wanting to share this wisdom with others. With careful thought and sensitivity, she began opening up to her closest friends, speaking about what she had learned, not just about the exercises, but about love, communication, and the art of truly being present in a relationship. And in that quiet, unspoken way, the wisdom of one generation continued to flow into the next, gently, seamlessly, like a river carving its path through time. At first, some of Anna's friends were hesitant, exchanging nervous glances and shy smiles when she broached the topic. Discussions about intimacy, especially within their circle, had always felt like something to be kept private, whispered about in hushed tones, or avoided altogether. But there was something different about the way Anna spoke. Her voice carried neither embarrassment nor hesitation, only warmth and sincerity. She didn't present the conversation as something scandalous or taboo, but rather as a part of life, an essential piece of their well-being, their relationships, and their confidence as women. Slowly, as the weeks passed, the hesitation in her friends began to fade. One evening, gathered at a cozy cafe, their conversations naturally drifted to the topic again. The soft glow of candlelight flickered across their faces as the women shared knowing smiles, leaning in just a little closer. "You know," one of Anna's friends, Isabella, finally admitted, her voice tentative, "I always thought these kinds of things were just for younger women. But maybe that's not true." Another friend, Marisol, nodded. "I thought the same. But after hearing Anna talk about it, I've realized how much we neglect our own bodies and our own needs. We talk about everything else, our families, our work, our children, but we never talk about this part of our lives. And why not? It's just as important." A ripple of understanding passed between them, a shared realization that for so long, they had been conditioned to treat intimacy as something secondary, almost incidental, instead of the deeply emotional and personal experience it was meant to be. Anna smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment knowing that her grandmother's wisdom had not just impacted her, but had created a ripple effect among the women she cared about. "I think my grandmother was right," she said gently. "Trust and communication are key. Not just in marriage, but in everything. In friendships, in the way we see ourselves, in the way we navigate life." And just like that, what had begun as a simple conversation about an often overlooked aspect of self-care blossomed into something much greater, a safe space where they could talk openly, without fear or judgment. They found themselves sharing things they had kept locked away for years, concerns about their bodies, insecurities they had never spoken about, the unspoken fears that come with aging, the quiet worries about whether the spark in their relationships could still burn as brightly. For the first time, they were truly listening to one another, supporting each other, lifting each other up. Anna knew that this was more than just an exchange of words. This was healing. This was transformation. Over time, their conversations deepened, extending far beyond Kegel exercises. They began sharing their thoughts on self-care, confidence, and the importance of embracing their own desires without shame or guilt. They reminded one another that love, whether for a partner or for themselves, was something to be nurtured, cherished, and never taken for granted. And through it all, Anna never forgot the woman who had first planted this seed of wisdom within her. Though Dona Elvira was no longer physically present, her spirit lingered in every moment of these conversations, in every word of encouragement exchanged, in every newfound realization that intimacy was not just about the body but about the soul. Her teachings had not just shaped Anna's life but had become a legacy, one that stretched far beyond what she could have ever imagined. One evening, as Anna sat on her veranda, gazing up at the star-speckled sky, she thought of her grandmother. She closed her eyes and smiled, feeling her presence in the gentle night breeze, in the warmth of the memories they had shared. "Thank you, Grandma," she whispered, "for showing me that love, in all its forms, is something to be nurtured. That communication is the bridge that keeps us connected. And that wisdom, when shared, has the power to change lives." As time passed, Anna's role in her community grew. Women who once hesitated to speak about such things now came to her for advice, eager to learn, eager to break the silence that had held them back for so long. The lesson in all of this was clear. When people share their experiences with honesty and vulnerability, they create deeper emotional connections, build stronger relationships, and foster personal growth in ways that are both profound and lasting. Anna had started a conversation, but what she had truly done was start a movement, one of trust, of empowerment, and of love. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the sky in hues of deep orange and violet, Anna sat in quiet reflection. What began as a simple question to her grandmother had led to a profound realization, one that changed the way she viewed herself, her health, and her relationships. Now, I want to ask you, what have you learned from this story? Has it changed the way you think about self-care, confidence, or the small habits that can make a big difference in your life? Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned today that you'll bring into practice in your own life. Maybe it's the importance of strengthening your body, building deeper connections, or simply embracing open and honest conversations about intimacy and well-being. Whatever it is, I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support helps us continue bringing you valuable insights and wisdom that can make a real difference in your life. Thank you for watching, and remember, taking care of yourself is one of the greatest gifts you can give, not just to yourself but to those who love and cherish you. See you in the next video.